Can somebody wake me up from sleep? Because it looks like I am dreaming. Wait a minute. Have Super Eagles played their match? Am I dreaming? Somebody should please wake me up, okay? Looks like I was dreaming. I don't think it really happened. Have the Super Eagles of Nigeria actually played? Wow. Right now I am pissed up. I am really, really pissed up. First of all, let me say a big congratulations to the Leopard of the Democratic Republic of Congo. That was a well-deserved victory. They deserve to pick the ticket to take part in the Interconfederation playoff. They demonstrated what they actually represent, the Leopard. They show strength and resilience. That was a well-deserved victory. Football wouldn't have been fair to the Democratic Republic of Congo if the Super Eagles of Nigeria have won that game. And to the Democratic Republic of Congo, once again I said congratulations. You deserve the victory. You deserve the ticket to be part of the Interconfederation playoff in order to increase the slots of African representatives in next year's World Cup to 10. I wish you guys the best. What I saw, the performance from the DRC was class. They show character. They show strength. They show resilience. And that is why they are called the Leopard of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The performance by the Super Eagles last night was a stinker. That performance actually stink. At first, the hope of qualifying for the World Cup was dashed. Not until the Super Eagles of Nigeria gave us a breath of fresh air. That there is still chance to make it to the World Cup next year. But last night, that dream actually crashed. The dream crashed with a performance that stink. If this was how the Super Eagles of Nigeria performed in the last group game against Benin Republic, then I would have given up the hope that the Super Eagles will qualify for next year's World Cup. If this was the performance, if this was how the Super Eagles of Nigeria actually fly against the Panthers of Gabon in the first leg of the playoff, there wouldn't have been need sitting down late night and watching the final playoff. That performance by the Super Eagles of Nigeria actually stink. It was an absolute stinker by the team. They gave us a little bit of hope when the game kicked off. They gave us that bit of hope that there is everything to play for. In the third minute, a loose ball towards Frank Onyeka with a powerful strike deflected into the net of the Democratic Republic of Congo. And as such, the Super Eagles of Nigeria took the lead, went up 1-0. Absolute start. It was a good one. A good team would have capitalized on that lead in order to nail the Democratic Republic of Congo that were still disorganized only by the presence of Victor Osimhen in that upfront. The defense lines of DRC that was marshaled by Chancellor Mbemba was disorganized, knowing fully well that Victor Osimhen's presence there alone is a huge threat. But gradually, the Leopard grew into the game. They gained their confidence. And at the 32nd minute, loose ball in the midfield by Alex Iwobi and the mistake from Calvin Bassey by not following his man down to the net cost the Super Eagles the goal. And the DRC leveled up in the 32nd minute. And after that equalizer by DRC, they took total control of the game. They grew into the game with confidence. The first half ended 1-1. Coming back into the second half of that game, it was a total dominance by the Democratic Republic of Congo. Total dominance. The Super Eagles of Nigerian players were nowhere. And that was where it became very clear to me. And I now realize something, that the Super Eagles of Nigeria were just a shadow of themselves if this guy is not in the field. Take a look at this guy I'm talking about, this very guy, Victor Osimhen. The absence of Victor Osimhen in the second half was the beginning of the Super Eagles problem. And it then goes to show that this guy, Victor Osimhen, is the eagle of Nigeria that fly high. With the other players, the Superman that don't have wings to fly. Victor Osimhen's substitution before the start of the second half get to show how flat the Super Eagle became. It goes on to show that the fear factor the Super Eagles actually carry is just Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen alone is the fear factor in the national team of Nigeria. And as such, the more reason we are where we are today. Why did I say that? When the World Cup qualifications actually began, when Jose Pizarro was in charge as the head coach, the 3 matches we actually did not pick a win. Against South Africa in Uyo, against Benin Republic away from home, and against South Africa in Johannesburg. These 3 games, Victor Osimhen was absent. Against South Africa, we played a draw here in Nigeria. Against Benin Republic, we went away and we lost by 2-1. And against South Africa at Johannesburg, Victor Osimhen was still not in that game. And it that goes to show that without Victor Osimhen, the Super Eagles of Nigeria can't go further. They can't go anywhere. The fear factor in the team is Victor Osimhen. And big ups to the Super Eagles striker talking about Victor Osimhen. He is one player, whenever he puts on the color of the Super Eagles, you can see the hunger, you can see everything in him that he wants to win. For the majority part of the game, in the second half, I was asking myself, why was Victor Osimhen substituted? Probably it could have been injury, but I know the manager, the head coach, definitely know why Victor Osimhen was taken off. And that was where our game completely collapsed. The DRC pressed on in the second half of that game till the end in the extra time. They actually had 2 goals cancelled. One for infringement on Stanley Nwabali after he went for a high-flying ball, got the ball and was shaved. And the second one was in the extra time. The ball had actually crossed the line. But then there was a foul. Else, DR Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, would have won the game. If not in the regulation time, they would have won the game, even in the extra time. Football wouldn't have been fair to the Democratic Republic of Congo if they have not won that particular game. Football wouldn't have been fair to them. But it's just good they actually won because they show resilience, they show character, they show the hunger that they needed the ticket. And I must say to the DRC, congratulations for picking the ticket. I wish you guys the very best. Go all out and make Africa proud if that is what is going to happen. Because the last time the Democratic Republic of Congo actually took part in the World Cup was in 1970 World Cup thereabout, the then Zaire. That was when they participated. If this is your time to actually compete and be part of the World Cup, big up to you guys. You guys deserve it. You deserve the victory. You deserve the ticket to be part of the Interconfederation Cup. I can't imagine the Super Eagles of Nigeria parading all of these players. All the Super Eagles of Nigerian players, the squad, are all foreign based. They fly their trade in top club in European football, except for our goalkeeper talking about Stanley Nwabali, that plays his club football in South Africa with Chippa United. You want to talk about the right back, Benjamin Frederick? He's a Brentford player currently on loan at Denda in Belgium. Simi Ajayi plays for All City in the Championship. Kevin Bassey plays for Fulham in the Premier League. Wilfred Ndidi, the midfielder, plays for Besiktas currently. Alex Iwobi plays for Fulham. Ademola Lookman plays for Atlanta. Samuel Chukwueze plays for Fulham. Akko Adams plays for Sevilla. Victor Osimhen plays his football for Galatasaray. He's the only player, with all due respect to the other team, I don't mean I don't mean to actually disrespect you guys. You tried your best, but your best wasn't good enough when it comes to where we actually needed you guys most. Because that performance last night was a stinker, an absolute stinker, and it was unacceptable. It was unacceptable. What did we play, for crying out loud? Coming into this game, the hope was high. The hope was high. The spirit, the morale was high. What went wrong? What went wrong? After the first half, there was still hope that coming into the second half, little bit of fresh legs when it comes to the attacking line will actually be injected into the team. The same substitution the manager made against the Panthers of Gabon, bringing in Chidera Ejuke and Moses Simon, taking out Ademola Lookman and Samuel Chukwueze. And also, that halftime substitution that actually saw Victor Osimhen not returning into the game, Akko Adams was actually introduced. The presence of Akko Adams up front there was absolute flop. There was no threat to the defense line of the DRC in absence of Victor Osimhen. The Nigerian Super Eagles were mere shadow of themselves. Through the whole 45 minutes in the second half and the entire 30 minutes of the extra time, the Super Eagles of Nigeria were literally begging for the game to extend into penalty shootout. That was what literally happened. They were begging for the game to extend into penalty shootout. And as God may have it, the game eventually ended in a 1-1 draw. The penalty shootout commenced. A defender, a centre-back, Calvin Bassey, began the shootout for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, missed it. And also a defender, talking about Simi Ajayi, take the last shootout for the Super Eagles of Nigeria and missed it. Was that the best penalty shooters we actually have in the Super Eagles team? That performance by the Super Eagles was an absolute stinker. It was actually uncalled for. But it goes to show that we never deserve to be in the World Cup. And that means that we have missed out in 2 consecutive World Cups. We missed out in Qatar 2022, and next year in the United States of America, Mexico and Canada, we will still be missing out. So 2 consecutive World Cups, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have actually missed out. What is wrong with our football? What is wrong with the administration of our football? There are lots of talent in the country, abundance of talent. Does it mean without Victor Osimhen, we can't get a striker from the NPFL? Is that what it goes to show? Why is the league in existence if we can't get players from the local leagues, from our league, to actually also represent us? We are rich in talent. We have this talent in abundance. We have them. We have them. The whole squad list, complete, from the goalkeeper to the last name on the squad list, are all foreign-based players. There is no one player from the local league. I stand to be corrected. I stand to be corrected. Because I checked through the squad list. There is no one player from the local league. If there is any, please correct me. Drop it in the comments. But what we saw last night, the performance of the Super Eagles last night, was disgraceful, it was embarrassing, and it was an absolute stinker. Without Victor Osimhen, the Super Eagles of Nigeria lack that fear factor. The threat for an opposing defense line is not there. And that was why we saw the Democratic Republic of Congo coming all out, pressing and putting the Super Eagles of Nigeria under intense pressure to actually get the winning goal. I must say that performance by the Super Eagles of Nigeria was not what gave me the hope of sitting late nights to watch the Super Eagles of Nigeria. That performance was an absolute stinker. It stink. It stink. And to the Democratic Republic of Congo, once again I said congratulations. You guys deserve the winning. You guys deserve the ticket to be part of the Interconfederation Cup. And I want to say, I wish you guys the very best. Go to the United States of America. Make sure you get the ticket and be part of the World Cup next year. Because your struggle, your resilience, the character you have shown from the group stage down to this playoff actually shows you deserve to be in the World Cup next year. The unfortunate thing that happened to you guys in Group B was that Senegal was in your group, and as such, they were a better team. So use this opportunity through this playoff route to ensure you pick a ticket to be part of the 2026 World Cup. Congratulations to you guys. What do you make of the game of the Super Eagles last night against the Democratic Republic of Congo? And for our football, what is the way forward? Because the next big tournament ahead of us is the AFCON that is coming up in December. And our first match, precisely I think is December 23rd, will be the first match of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. What do you make of all the latest happening? Drop your thoughts down below. Thank you very much for watching, and catch you in my next video.